Ja, hallo und herzlich willkommen. Ich begrüße euch aus der Allianz Arena. Hier wurde gerade FIFA 17 präsentiert und ich habe einen Gast bei mir, nämlich Nick Channon. Er ist Producer bei EA Sports. Nick, great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Once again, it's a great pleasure to have you here. Yeah, just for the start, you had some really groundbreaking changes for the FIFA series here. For example, you changed your graphics engine from the Ignite to the Frostbite engine. So, what are the main advantages of this change?
Well, I mean, it's a huge change for us, and I think to be able to move our game to one of the industry-leading game engines is a huge boost for FIFA. I think we're really excited. We've been working on it now for a couple of years, and it really has helped us to move our game forward. Some obviously big changes in visuals. We're doing a lot of work around the texturing, the lighting, just having the ability to be on the same technology as our friends at DICE and Battlefield and BioWare, being able to talk to them about some of the techniques that they use, how they bring this sort of environments to life.
Yeah.
Whilst the environments are very different, the techniques that we can use, we can really learn from. And I think, if you look at the game right now, just what we're doing with fogging and the lights at night in particular really bring our game alive. Some of the texturing that we're using, technology around hair and face, and you saw the glassiness in the eyes is really helping improve our game.
Yeah. Is it difficult to implement an engine that is normally used for action games and shooters on a sports game? I mean, that's a huge difference in the whole gameplay.
Well, I think there's challenges in anything, and there's challenges whenever you move to new technology. And I think but challenge is what makes you better. And I think it's the sense that when you have to look at things slightly differently, it can really help us improve our game. And not only that, obviously having Frostbite now using a team sports game, there's things that we can also help with Battlefield, and they can learn from us too. So I think it's a really, really good thing. I should also mention, without the power of Frostbite, we just wouldn't be able to do the other big thing we announced today, which is the journey, the story-driven narrative mode.
So where was the point in the FIFA series where you said, okay, now we need to change the engine from the Ignite to the Frostbite?
Oh, well, again, it's just always about how we can make the best game that we can, and where can we take our game, not only now but in the future. And I think that we felt with the move to Frostbite, not only would it be a great move for FIFA 17, it sets us up brilliantly for the future to allow us to continue to innovate and significantly improve our game over the next few years.
Okay. So let's jump to your story mode, which is actually a pretty cool feature. I guess that a lot of people are really excited to play that. How did you choose the scenery and the setting? Why is it the Premier League, and why this whole setting?
Yeah, so obviously the journey is a mode about a young English footballer called Alex Hunter and his journey to try and make it as a professional footballer and the highs and lows of that. We chose the Premier League because it's one of the biggest leagues in the world. It's also the most popular league in our game in terms of players playing it. So we felt that was the right place to start. We have great assets there with stadiums and the players as well, and we wanted to obviously deliver an incredibly high quality mode, and we felt that the best place to start with that was within the Premier League.
Yeah. So I talked to a colleague like a couple of minutes ago, and he said okay, so this is be a pro with a story behind it. Is there more to it than just be a pro, or how would you say it?
Well, I think it's a narrative journey at the end of the day. You are playing as one character. You have the ability to lock to that character, or you can play still as the full team. It's completely up to you. I think it's a different way to play our game in the fact that you're not only playing, but you're also living out the journey, as we call it, but the story. There's a core story arc to it, but also very much how you play on the pitch determines some of the things that you will see and determines how you will experience the story itself.
Yeah, you said that you were actually reliving a career of a professional footballer, but there are a lot of ups and downs there. There are injuries, they're changing teams. How will you be implementing those kind of stuff?
We're not going into the details of exactly what will happen. That will come at a later date. There's still a lot of work for us to do. But as I've said, we wanted to make sure that what you played on the pitch, how you played on the pitch, had an influence and an effect on how you experience the story. We felt that was really important. So as you can see, there's objectives that you have to fulfill to try and get your match rating up. You have to train to improve your player. So it's all of those sort of mechanics that you would expect from from a sort of more of a career-driven mode.
Yeah. How will my playing experience differ whether I'm a a really professional FIFA player, so a really passionate FIFA player, or if I'm new to the FIFA series and maybe just attracted by the journey mode?
Yeah, that's a great question, and obviously we tailor the mode based on difficulty, and we tailor the mode based on experience. So there's ways that we look at, based on how you're playing. We can look at tailoring some of the training in particular to help you learn the basics of the mode, and maybe give something a little bit more advanced to players that are a bit more experienced with our game.
Okay, so maybe let's come to the gameplay itself. There have also been some major changes, but what I was missing today during your presentation was, what about the defense? You talked a lot about new running types and all this stuff, but you didn't talk actually about any defense mode.
So we talked about a couple of things. Obviously the physicality is of both attacking and defensive, and it makes a big difference defending too. We've added some new situations in physical play where you can now win the ball back using your body and shielding as well, and that's a pretty big deal. We've also reworked, which we didn't go into details today about. We've reworked a lot of our tackles as well. Really reworked slide tackles, which feel really, really nice. And the other side to it though is, and this is kind of the phase of development that we're now in, is balancing the game. So with all the new attacking pieces, making sure that we're balancing the defense as well. So it won't be left untouched by any means. We need to keep it a balanced game. We want it to be a fun game with lots of opportunities, but to your point, it's important that we keep that balance with defending too.
Yeah. So maybe just a general question, how did the AI change? Because in the previous FIFAs, it was always a problem that your other players weren't moving enough, and maybe from both perspectives, even from the offensive side and from the defensive side.
Yeah, so I think it's something we've really focused on this year. We've built a system that is highly intelligent, that allows us to evaluate space in a very different way. Space was really evaluated previously based on where your teammates were, and you wouldn't really run into the space that was taken by a teammate. It took us a long time to get a system in place where we had the intelligence to be able to say, okay, whilst there's a player in that space, that's actually still a good place to go, because he can actually run off me. He can maybe make a different run. And by having this highly intelligent system where players can think about what other players are doing and take that into account, we'd be able to really open the game up and create this, incredible variety of runs.
Okay. And you're also implementing more physicality to the game. Is it then tough to even rebalance the referees, because when I push someone away, maybe in previous games there would be a foul, now it is?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I think this is a challenge we face every year. Whenever you make changes to the game, there's always changes you need to make sure that the referees take that into account. So we do that every year, and this year will be the same.
All right. And since you're also bringing in more physicality against the goalkeepers, will I be finally able to kick down my goalkeeper like I did in FIFA 89, like in France?
No, I mean, I think there's, we wanted to have, again, we always talk about authenticity, and, players would bump into the keeper, but it would look very unnatural. Now it looks more natural, but clearly in those situations it's going to be a foul.
Okay. But you introduced your four ambassadors for FIFA 17. What was their, let's say, their influence on the game?
I mean, it's like when we bring anyone in, we talk to them about the game that we're making, we talk about some of the features, and we get their feedback on that. So that's no different to how we've done it in the past. And obviously with the four great players that we brought in this year, they also have areas of influence on the pitch with set pieces, with the way they make runs. So it really worked out well with some of the features that we were trying to do, of getting their input into what we were doing. Okay,
final question. With you obviously being a big football fan yourself, so otherwise you wouldn't be working on FIFA. What's your pick on the European Championship? Who's going to make it?
I was asked this yesterday. We were in Spain. I'd like to say England, for obvious reasons. I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
So yesterday we were in Spain, and I said Spain, and now in Germany I'll say Germany.
Oh, come on. Crowd pleaser.
I actually think, to be honest, it's going to be a really close competition. I don't actually think there's a standout team this year. So I actually think that makes for a really exciting tournament.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. Ich bedanke mich bei euch fürs Zuschauen, Zuhören oder was auch immer. Bleibt uns treu und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal.